Hello, welcome to episode 377. We're going to be making an animated menu using blocks. We're in version 1.19.4. We're not using a data pack, so we've had to do a bit of a slow cast, but here is my menu. Pretty boring. I'm just playing on the mechanics, so I haven't done much to make it look nice. But you've got a choice of sand, stone, or wood. Whichever one you point at is the highlighted one. If I click on one, there we go, sand, stone, and wood. Cool. I expected this to be a lot more janky than it is, but it actually seems pretty good. It will just about work in multiplayer. You can select things, or multiple people can select things at the same time, but it does have a couple of little bit of quirky side effects, like occasionally the little box will vibrate, like but it's not made for multiplayer. Okay, enough waffling. Let's just show you the F3 screen for no reason. There we go. Do check in the comments to see if anyone's got any improvements and suggestions. Other than that, let's get on and build it now. Okay, first thing we're going to need is a scoreboard. Up. So we'll have a little bit of setup. And let's have the scoreboard. Objectives. Add. State. Dummy. And we're going to be using that later. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't make it. And I'm going to make another place to put my options. I'm going to put them on top of there. You don't need to put these blocks here. I'm just doing it for fun. Let's create our options. Okay, so create menu, I suppose, or just create, or summon. I want the coordinates of that block though, so let's get this. Fill, tab, copy, and that direction is -x, so we'll have one there, one there, one there. Okay, let's do the first one. I'm going to summon a block display at those coordinates, and it's going to have some information. It's going to have tags. It's going to have two tags. One is going to be, well, it's a menu option, and it is going to be option 1. Okay, that's a good start. Let's give it a block state. What does it look like? Has a name. I'm just going to say stone, so it's going to look like stone. Pretty boring, but that'll do. And we'll need some transformation information. Left rotation. It's going to be all defaults. And we're going to copy all the way up to the word left. Copy. And then outside the square brackets, I'll put right and paste. And then we'll have translation, which I'm going to leave blank for the moment. And scale. I like to do the scale first. I could change the order of these, I suppose. 1F. No, I don't want it to be 1F. When we first summon it, I want to be a bit smaller. Let's say 0.75 F, 0.75 F, and 0.75 F. Okay, half of 0.75. I want the block centered. Half of 0.75 is 0.375. Yeah. I think 0.325. We'll do that. Okay. I've put it in the rotation. Very silly, very silly. Need to put it in the translation. Okay, minus 0.375 F. Nothing for the Y, and minus 0.375 F for the Z. Okay. Done. Well, we've made a mistake because it's ignored all the information we've just put in. Let's make ourselves a little quick kill. Boom. Kill any entity whose tag equals menu option. Okay. Let's go and find our mistake. I think, yep, I've put it inside the block state. So we've opened up the block state, we've set a name, and then we've just gone with a comma. We haven't closed the block state. which means there's going to be an extra closing curly brackets at the end here somewhere. Right at the end. Just take one of them off. There we go. Done. Cool. There you are. Nice little block. Okay. I want to give it 2 passengers. Passengers, open and close. Passenger number 1. Passenger number 2. Okay, passenger number 1. Tags. It's going to have the same tags. Menu option. And this will be option 1. Let's come out of tags. Yep. And it'll need an ID. What is it going to be? It's going to be an interaction. It's going to be an interaction. I want it to be very small to start with, 0.01. And height. This is so it doesn't get in the way later. And when I click on it, I want my hand to move, so response true. That'll be 1. We can test it, but we won't see the interaction entity because it's hiding inside. Okay. Next passenger, tags. It's going to be the same. Menu option. Option 1. Okay. It's going to have an ID. It's going to be a slime. Okay, so we're going to have a slime. We're going to have to set a size for it. Size 0. I just want a small one. I don't want it to have an AI. I want it to be silent. I want it to be invulnerable. So you can't punch it. Now, if you're in creative, you still can punch it. This only protects it from people in survival and adventure. I don't want it to drop anything, so DeathLootTable we'll put as empty. And I want it to be invisible. So ActiveEffects ID, capital I for ID there, 14. Amplifier of 0. You're invisible or not. There's no point amplifying it. Oh, hang on. We've opened up the list of effects, but we haven't said we're creating an effect. Curly brackets, there we go. Duration, forever. And ShowParticles, false. Okay, done. I saw him. Cool. So he's in there. Right, we've got 1. Okay. We should get a bit of smoke as the slime dies. Let's control middle mouse, copy that, make it chain always active, and I'll find every instance of option 1 and change it to option 2. There's another one. There should be 3 of them. Where are you? There you are. And we'll change where we're summoning it. So -X, so we'll go to 39. Done. Control middle mouse, copy that one, and find every instance of option 2 and change it to 3. Should be 3 of them. That's 2. Stop it. That's 2. And that's 3. There we go. And let's take one off the X. Done. F3D, clear that. Cool, there they are. Right, let's get rid of those old things we don't need. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is, well, actually, let's just do an effect. Let's do data merge entity. Well, the entity I'm pointing at. Let's do type equals block display, sort equals nearest, limit equals 1. What data do I want to put? I want glowing true. Okay, it's glowing, but it's glowing white. So let's set up some colors. I'm just going to do one team and make them all the same colour. You can have as many teams as you like. Team. So you can have each option glowing a different colour by putting them onto a different team. I'm going to do team, add, I don't know, option, highlight. Yeah, that'll do. And then I want to team, modify, option, highlight. I want to give it a colour. I'm going to use red. And I'm going to do team, join, option, highlight, any entity whose, well, only the blocks display is going to be glowing. So block, type equals block display, tag equals menu option. Done. Okay, so that's its colour. So obviously you can see we can just change its colour here if we wanted to. Make it blue. Now it's blue. Cool. I'm going to stick with red. Okay, so it's colour. Let's take glowing off this thing. There we go. Right. Now I want to know when I'm pointing at one. So I'm going to do a slow cast or ray marching. If you're using a data pack, you can actually do proper ray casting. We're not. We're seeing what we can get away with that without a data pack. So we are going to have to do slow cast. So this is going to be our controller for looking, I suppose. Right. Execute as any player. Actually, at S, we probably just do at any player. If entity type equals block display, tag equals menu option, distance equals less than 5. So this command is only going to run if we're within 5 blocks, because there's no point in us running around the whole map doing a slow cast all the time. We're only going to do it if we're within 5 blocks of the menu option. We will run summon an area effect cloud at my coordinates. That's going to be my feet. Duration, how long is it going to live for? Let's say 10 ticks. Tags, we'll give it one tag and we'll call it ray. Okay, done. Let's turn it on and let's make ourselves a temporary block. Don't know why I wanted that in line, but I did. Show ray. Hooray. Okay, execute at any entity. We won't bother with type. This is just going to be for a quick test. Ray. Run particle flame at those coordinates. Very small on the X, Y, and Z. No speed. Particle count of 1. Done. On. Okay, so I'm not within 5 blocks, so nothing should be happening. That looks right. Let's get a bit closer. And there's our particles at our feet. Cool. Right, first I want to lift them up. I don't want them coming out my feet. I want them sort of about chest height, really. So we'll make this conditional. We will execute as all players at S. Run TP any entity tag equals ray. I suppose we should type this one. Type equals area effect cloud. Tag equals ray. Sort equals nearest. Limit equals 1. Bomb, 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 bomb. And we will lift it up by 1.2. Done. Let's get close now and have a look at the particles. Okay, particles are coming out my chest. That's a bit better. Now I want to teleport them forward. So what we've done here is we've executed as myself, so it's going to copy my rotation and the way I'm looking. So we're lifting it up and we're making it face the same way as me. So now we can just teleport them forwards. So if we do execute as any entity whose type equals area effect cloud, tag equals ray, and then at themselves run teleport yourself just forwards. And we'll go quite far, 0.9. Done. That should blast them out forwards. I should have like a chest laser now. There we go. Now I've got a chest laser firing out in front of me. That's what we're going to use as our raycast. That's going to be our slowcast. Okay. Cool. Now, I think the first thing I'm going to do is deselect everything, just in case we're not looking. So here, we will just say tag any entity whose type equals block display, whose tag equals selected, remove selected. So no one is selected. Okay, and I'm going to turn off those particles. We don't need to see them at the moment. We could see that the raycast was coming out, or the slowcast was coming out of our chest. We've checked that. Right, now I need to add the tag selected to someone. So we're going to use our slowcast for that. We will execute at any entity whose type equals area effect cloud, tag equals ray. Okay, at any entity whose type equals slime, whose distance equals less than 0.5. Yeah, and we will run tag any entity. So we've gone from the ray. The ray has found a slime very close to it, and we're executing at that slime. And now we're going to go from the slime to the nearest block display. So type equals block display, tag equals menu option. We want the nearest one, sort equals nearest, limit equals 1, and we will add selected to that thing. So that's going to give it selected. And now I want the ray particle to die. I don't want it to travel through, because if it kept traveling through, it could potentially select other options. So what we should do is we should execute as any entity, type equals area effect cloud, tag equals ray, at yourself, because we need to check where you are, if entity type equals block display, tag equals menu option, distance equals what did we say, 0.5, run kill yourself. So the first thing it'll do is it will give the block display a tag, and then it will kill itself. Okay, cool, that should do. Done. Can we test that somehow? Yeah, let's do execute as any entity. It's just a test, so we won't bother with putting type. Tag equals selected, run, say hi. Let's try that. Okay, that looks good. When I pointed it, it says hi, and when I'm not pointing at it, we've got the reset and it stops. Okay, so they should all do that. They're all the same. Perfect. That looks like a good start. So let's get rid of that one. Right, obviously we want to do something a bit more interesting than just say hi. So let's execute as any entity whose type equals block display, whose tag equals selected, display, type equal, tag equals selected. The math's got all funny. Unless score at s state matches 1. So unless we've already selected it, we don't want to keep running the command at it. Then we will run data merge into an entity at S, because it's the block display, that's what we want. Yep. And what information do I want to merge in? Okay, I'm just going to press done, and we'll go over to where we created them. And in here, I'm going to get our transformation data. Here we go, transformation. I'll start at the beginning, Shift End, Control Copy, and I will put that down there, paste that in. Now we've got a lot of junk we don't need. Transformation, left rotation, yeah, right rotation, translation we need, scale we need, and then it ends. So, where are we? Here. Okay. Let's chop off all of that. Now if I look at it, we'll copy it, home, copy. So this is when it's selected. We'll paste that in there. Right, I want to go big. When I select it, I want it to go bigger. So we'll put the scale to 1. That's a 1. Put that to 1. Now to keep it centered, half of 1 is 0.5, so we'll have to change these to 0.5 and 0.5. Okay, done. Now if I go point at that, it should just get fat. Oink. And oink like a pig, apparently. Okay, well that seemed to work. Right. Now, if it does get fat, so conditional, then we will execute as, do we need an as for this one? This one, I don't think we need to, yeah, we'll give it glowing. So let's say execute as any entity, type equals block display, tag equals menu, tag equals selected. Or we can just do run data merge entity into yourself. What data do you want? Glowing true. Okay, so now if I run over there, it might not work because it's already big, so this might not change. We'll find out. Yeah, so let's start with some fresh ones. We make it big, and it's glowing. Okay. The reason it's glowing white is because we didn't put it on the team that time. Okay, that worked. Let's start with fresh ones again. So we've made it glow. No, but my interaction entity is still tiny and inside, so I'm going to have to make that bigger. So for that we will execute at, because we're not going to target the block display this time, but we do need its position. Type equals block display, tag equals selected. Run data merge into an entity, any entity who, so it's the interaction, we might as well say tag equals menu option, and we'll say sort equals nearest. Oh, there we go. We'll say limit equals 1, and I want to make it bigger. Now, just in case our slime, a slime hitbox can be bigger than 1, so just in case that's going to be a problem, I'm going to set the width to 1.05, and I'll set the height to the same, 1.05. Well, that's 10.5. That's not what we want. So now our interaction hitbox should go, they get nice and fat. And then I'm also going to do one more, and we'll set the state. We'll execute as any entity, type equals block display, tag equals selected, run scoreboard players, set yourself set your state to 1. Okay, now we've set the state to 1. If we go all the way back here and check this command, remember we've got unless score matches 1. So now we've set this to 1, none of these are going to be running. That's going to stop them. So let's point at 1. Cool. Yeah, it's glowing. I can see the glow. I can see the glow. Interaction entity has come. We can see that now. And well, we can see that one. Cool. Right. Let's get rid of you. Start with fresh. So that's making them big. Now we just need to make them small again. So let's execute as any entity whose type equals block display, tag equals not selected, and I don't think check a score as well. Scores equals state equals 1. Yeah, okay. Then we'll do run data merge into an entity yourself. In fact, what I think we can do here is what data do we want? We'll just reset it back to its default, which we didn't get rid of. We've still got it saved here. So we'll put that in there. Done. And now we just reset everything else. So conditional for this one. Execute. Now, do we want at? No, we need as for this one. Type equals block display, tag equals not selected, scores equals state equals 1, run data merge entity yourself glowing false. Okay. I'm going to copy this beginning bit. Control copy. That's glowing. And now we need to make the interaction entity shrink back down. So let's paste that in. Now we don't need as, because we're not going to be affecting the block display. We just need its location. So we'll do at. Blah, 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 blah. Run data merge entity. What entity do we want? We want any entity whose type equals an interaction, whose tag equals menu option, whose sort equals nearest, limited to 1, limited to 21, limited to 1, and we want it to be small again. So width 0.01, height 0.01. That sounds good. And if you do that, then we will set your state. We will execute as. Yes, we are changing something on the block display, so we do need as. Block display tag equals not selected, scores equals state equals 1, run scoreboard players, set yourself your state to 0. Okay. Done. This is where we cross our fingers and we go and point at them. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay, now it's very quick, very fast. Boom, 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 boom. Let's do something about that. So let's go for where we're merging in the data for the new transformation information. I realise I've just picked one out in the middle there. You can tell where it is because it's the block before the 3 conditionals. So it'll be this one here and this one here. But let's have a quick look at the command. Execute as type block display tag selected unless score state matches 1. Data merge transformation information. I'm going to go right to the end, and just in there I'm going to add a start interpolation, which will be 0. And an interpolation duration, which I'll put as 10. And I'm going to copy all of that. Control copy. Done. And then I'm going to go to where we set it back again. So as I say, you can tell because it's the one before the conditionals. Here it is. Execute as type equals box display, tag equals not selected, scores equals state equals run, data merge, all the blah blah blah. And in the end, let's put that. Now what that's going to do is instead of jumping between those sizes instantly, it's now going to take 10 ticks to change size. Ooh, ooh, oh, I kind of like it. Oh, it's weird. Okay, it's cool though. What about slower? Is slower better or is quicker better? Let's try slower first. I think slower is probably the wrong way to go. F3D, clear that chat. I kind of like it. It's not very responsive for a menu though. So for this use, I think we want to go lower. Let's do something like 3. Let's go right down. It's a cool effect, but you want a more responsive menu than that. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Okay, I'm happy with 3. Okay. Alright, can we select more than one? We cannot select more than one at a time by the look of it. No, we're only getting one selected. Okay, right, we've been a while anyway. Let's make a quick controller to check which one we're clicking on. So what should we call this? Controller input. Inputter input. There we go. Right. So I suppose we'll execute. We'll do right click. We'll do right clicks. Execute as any entity. Type equals interaction. Tag equals option 1. We will store success on the entity yourself into your interaction player data as an integer. We'll times it by 0 and then we'll switch to on target, run, and we'll just say, oh wait, selected option 1. Okay, so what's happening here? We're looking for any interaction with tag option 1. Yes. Then we're going to store the success of the command, which we're going to run later. But we're going to times or multiply that success by 0, so it's always going to be 0, and we're going to store it into the player data. That's going to wipe the player data, effectively making it forget. So it's only going to run one time. We're only going to do it to ones that have a target, so they must have been right-clicked on. So on target, if you right-clicked on it, and then this bit here will remove the target. And what are we going to do? We're just going to say selected option 1. So here, obviously, you could put set block somewhere, redstone block, and power something else, or run any command you wanted. We'll just do that. And I'm going to copy that, put it down, make it chain always active, and just change this option 1 to option 2. And I'm going to do the same for this tag here. And then control middle mouse and copy that one, and do option 3. And do the same for this tag here. Okay. Right, let's get rid of the hitboxes, F3B. Now we don't need these, you can have them floating if you want. They're not affected by gravity, so why not? And now we can point at them, and if I right click, absolutely nothing happens, which is fantastic. I bet I haven't turned it on, have I? I bet if I look over there, it's not turned on. Idiot. Okay. Now it remembered that it had interactions that I'd clicked, which is why those 2 messages came up. So let's clear chat as we do. Okay. So I click on 1, I get 1. Click on 2, I get 2. Click on 3, I get 3. Pretty self-explanatory. And the only problem is you can do that. It looks like I should be selecting option 1. But I'm not. That's just to do with the raycasting or the slow casting, the way it's working. But if I right click, even though it looks like I'm going to hit block 1, it still gives me option 2. So it is giving me the option that is highlighted. So you're not going to click on that one and expect option 2, but it runs option 1. Okay, I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to say this. Well, I will say. I'll tell you what I was going to say. I was going to say I'm pretty sure that's about the best we could do. But make sure to check the comments because I bet someone can do it better than me. That's the best I've managed to come up with without a data pack. And I like it. I mean, you don't have to have them all stone. You can display anything you want in there. Or they could be item displays. You know, you could have a sword hanging in the air there and the sword gets bigger. This one could be a little shield and this one could be a carrot. I don't know. You can put what you like. Anyway, I was quite happy. I think it turned out better than I expected, to be honest. I thought it'd be a lot more janky. Well, we're done for today. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.